Okay, Calc students, this is section 3.2. We are learning the differentiation rule for products and quotients. So let me first start off by writing the formula for the product rule. If I am trying to find f times g prime, I'm trying to find the derivative of f times g. That is going to equal f prime times g plus f times g prime. Okay, f prime times g plus f times g prime. Now, the rule for quotient, let me see if I can sneak it in over here on the left. If I've got f divided by g prime, okay, if I have the quotient of two different functions, that equals f prime times g minus f times g prime all over g squared. Okay, f prime times g minus f times g prime all over g squared. You'll notice the quotient rule, the numerator is very similar to the product rule, only with a minus instead of a plus. Okay, so these are the two formulas we need. Quotient rule, product rule. Okay, now we're going to use those and we're going to kind of show that they work. So let me do this first problem here. It says find the derivative of f of x when it equals 1 plus 4x squared times x minus x squared in two ways. So first they want us to use the product rule. Okay, so again, imagine that this here is my f function. This is my g function. Okay, so I'm using the product rule. So again, f times g, trying to find the derivative, f prime times g plus f times g prime. So the derivative of f, so f prime of x is going to equal the derivative of f, that's 8x, times times just g, sorry, that's x minus x squared, plus the f function, which is 1 plus 4x squared, times the derivative of g. The derivative of x is 1, the derivative of minus x squared is minus 2x. Now, if we multiply all of that stuff out, what do we get? We get 8x squared minus 8x cubed plus, here if we FOIL, we've got first is 1 times 1, outer negative 2x, inner positive 4x squared, and last negative 8x cubed. So if we combine like terms here, negative 8x cubed minus 8x cubed is negative 16x cubed. 8x squared and 4x squared is plus 12x squared. Minus 2x plus 1. That's what it kind of looks like to me. So this would be my derivative, okay, using the product rule. So again, this right here was my f prime. This right here was my g. This right here was my f. This right here was my g prime. Okay. Now, it says to perform the multiplication first on the second part, on the second box. So if I FOIL this out to start with, if I FOIL out 1 plus 4x squared times x minus x squared, if I FOIL it first, outer, inner, last. Okay, so this is what f of x equals if I multiply it out first. Then if I take the derivative of that, okay, so then f prime of x, the derivative of that is 1 minus 2x plus 12x squared minus 16x cubed. Is that the same thing I ended up with above? Yep. I wrote it in a different order, but it's the same thing. Okay, so do your answers agree? Absolutely. Okay. All right. I hope that was helpful. Now, let me keep scrolling here. So this one, let's differentiate. We're going to use the product rule again. So this part is going to be my F. This part is going to be my G. Okay, and I'm going to rewrite this as 3 e to the x times x to the 1/2. Okay, so this is my F. This is my G. I hope everybody kind of understands that. Square root is the 1/2 power. Okay, so again, my formula for F times G prime is F prime times G plus F times G prime. So F prime, remember the derivative of e to the x is just e to the x. So my G prime of x is going to be 3 e to the x, nothing changes there, times x to the 1/2, that's my G, plus F is 3 e to the x times, now here's G prime, okay, the derivative of x to the 1/2 would be 1/2 x to the negative 3/2, right? Because you decrease by 1. Oh, sorry, not negative 3/2, negative 1/2. I apologize. So you take the 1/2 and you subtract 1. So you get minus 1/2. So we have, actually, I don't know, but what I wouldn't just kind of leave that. 3 e to the x, x to the 1/2, plus 3/2 e to the x, x to the negative 1/2. I think I'd probably try to see if they took that. I think that would be your answer. Okay. Now, number 3, I will give you a heads up. When it says differentiate, you can use the product rule, but I would multiply it out first. I think that would be way easier. And the reason I say this is because just looking at these two binomials, I notice these are conjugate pairs. Okay, so if I go ahead and multiply first, again, that would be my approach. If I multiply out first, I'm really just multiplying firsts and lasts. So this is going to give me u squared minus square root of u squared. Well, this is just u squared minus u, right? So to find the derivative then, h prime of u would equal 2u minus 1. Okay, 2u minus 1. Okay, let's do number 4. Because it's a quotient. So let's talk about the quotient rule again. Okay, so remember my quotient rule is if you have f divided by g and you're trying to take the derivative of it, that is f prime times g minus f times g prime all over g squared. Now, there are some different rules of thought. Quite honestly, I shouldn't say this, but I never really learned this formula, because what I would do is I would pull the denominator up and take the denominator to the negative 1 power and just use the product rule. Okay, it can get a little uglier, so but it kept me from memorizing one more thing. Since you don't necessarily have to memorize these formulas, you should be fine. But that is a pretty common approach, is to just pull the negative or the denominator up, put parentheses around it and take it to the -1 power and then use the product rule. You'll get the same answer. But let's go ahead and do this. So again, in my formula then, this is my F, this is my G, right? So y prime is going to equal F prime times G. So the derivative of F is just 2t times G, okay? Let me just go ahead and write out the whole thing, leave it in parentheses for now. So the derivative of F times G minus F, which is, oh, not 2t, sorry, it's t squared, plus 3 times the derivative of G. The derivative of G is 4t cubed minus 4t. Okay, and all of that is over t to the 4th minus 2t squared plus 5 squared. Okay, so let's pretty up the numerator a little bit here. So if I distribute this 2t to all three terms, okay, I'm going to have 2t to the 5th minus 4t cubed plus 10t. Now, this back half, let's FOIL it, and then you've also got to distribute the negative to each term. So as I FOIL, I'm going to get what? Minus 4t to the 5th. The outer is going to leave me with positive 4t cubed. The inner, negative 12t cubed. And the last is positive 12t. Again, all of that over the denominator. Okay, now let's pretty up the numerator again. Okay, so this is going to, if I combine my t to the 5th terms, I'm going to have negative 2 t to the 5th. I don't have any 4th terms. My t cubes, those two cancel, so I've got minus 12 t cubed. And then my two t's would be plus 22t all over, again, I would just leave this. I don't think you have to multiply it out. I think that's what I would put in as my answer. Okay. Now, I do notice that you can pull out a 2 and a t out of the top. I don't know if they would do that or not. But I don't think you should have to. But again, if they count that wrong, I would probably start by pulling out a 2t and just factoring it out of the top. But I don't think that's necessary. Okay. I hope that was helpful. Let's do one more of those since I did a couple of the product ones. Let me do another of the quotient. So again, this would be my F. This would be my G. So again, reminder, F divided by G prime is F prime times G minus F times G prime all over G squared. Okay, so I'm just going to call this Y. So I'm going to say Y prime equals F prime, which is 2x, times G minus F, which is x squared, times G prime is just 6, all over G squared, 7 plus 6x squared. So again, f prime times g minus f times g prime all over g squared. So if I simplify this, I've got 14x plus 12x squared minus 6x squared all over, whoops, I'm not sure what just shifted. Okay, so I don't know if I need to simplify that or not. Oh yeah, I don't know the change. So I probably will foil this. Okay, let me go ahead here. I'm going to foil the bottom because I just realized we also have a double prime. So if I foil this, this is going to be what, 49 plus 42x plus 42x, which is 84x plus 36x squared. Okay. If I foil that out, I don't know if we're supposed to foil that out or not, but now, but the top though, I can combine my 2x squared terms. So I've got 14x plus 6x squared over 49 plus 84x plus 36x squared. Now, that should give you your first derivative. You could do this again. I'm not going to take the time, but you could do this again to find your second derivative. Take the derivative of the first derivative. Okay, that's all you got to do there. Let me go ahead. I'll go ahead and do that. So let's do y double prime then. Okay, so we're going to take the derivative of the derivative to get our second derivative. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so again, the top is going to be my f, the bottom is going to be my g. So f prime in this case would be 14 plus 12x times, oh boy, 49 plus 84x plus 36x squared. That's my g. Minus, okay, f times g prime. Well, my f is 14x plus 6x squared times my g prime is 84 plus 72x, okay, all over g squared, which my g now is going to be the 49 plus 84x plus 36x squared. For the sake of time, I'm going to stop there. You can distribute all that out of the top. There's going to be some stuff that factors and that cancels. So that's good. But that at least gets you started on the second derivative. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop there. If that gives you a good idea of the product and the quotient rule. Again, I will have the PowerPoint slides are also attached to the Google Classroom assignment, so you can look at those for some extra help as well. Okay. Product rule, quotient rule for derivatives.